Now you have the drawing of your ship. You know, so you only have two: the top and the side, or the front. All this stuff still applies. So I'm gonna make a new document. Right? It's gonna be a little confusing at first. You're gonna be wondering why, but I'm showing you how I set up a grid system where, basically you're gonna use that in your perspective view. So you're gonna think of an angle that you want, but first you're gonna create something with 300 pixels by 300 pixels, and there you have a perfect square. And we need the square because we're gonna do our grids through this. So this top right system that we got going on here, or you can just go online, look up grid, take it through. But you're gonna create a thin line on the right, and a thick line at the left. I'll show you why in a second. So you just fill it, you edit, define pattern. You gotta make sure you disable this background or else it's transparent. You call it grid 1, whatever. You file, new, actually, file, new. Let's go to our calculator. Buddy made me realize this. There you go. 300 times 8 equals 2,400. Again, you don't really need to do this, but just make sure you've got enough room to work on your canvas. And then this 300 times 6, 1,000. Then we've got this. Now, go edit. No. Our bucket, our fill tool. Here you go, pattern, make a new layer, go here, and the pattern will be this, and you fill it. There you go. You've got your grid. Right on. Now, what you can also do is you can add in, well, I mean, what I require doing. You're gonna add a thicker center line, just like this. You're gonna fill it with a thing that shows up. What happened? It's not. Oh my god. Alright, thicker line here. Alright. You're gonna copy this, go into your perspective drawing that you're doing. Then you're gonna split these two dudes up. Oh, you're gonna paste. Why is this? What's happening? Well, because I did all those pixels. Apparently it's bigger than 8.5 by 11. Alright, so you're going to divide these up, put them on two separate layers. We're going to call this one side, this one top, and then this grid. Alright? But we're going to disable that. We're going to bring up a new one because we need 6. We need 6 of these. Then you're gonna. I want to copy it. People, leave me alone. Disable Skype. Alright. So have all of these grids right here. You're gonna make a new folder. Call them grids. This guy. We don't want to mess with him, so we're going to keep him there. Alright, so you're going to think of a perspective that you want to see this in. And perspective is basically how you look at an object in 3D. I'm pretty sure we all know what perspective is, but just in case. You can sketch out the idea that you want. So perspective sketch. And these guys, disable them. And so you think it's going to look like this, based on whatever in your head. You just scribble shit out. You don't have to be perfect in this stage. Do that. So you've got that. And, alright. Before you go any further, if you're doing a ship that has a lot of hard edges, this will help you out, okay? So pay attention. When you have a brush, right? You just want a normal brush, normal, whatever, hardness, full. You go into your brush settings here. I'm gonna pull this bad boy out so you guys can see. Go to shape dynamics and your pen pressure, right? So have you ever noticed, and pen pressure is all the way down, and you want to do that thing where you can do with mouse clicking, where you can just kind of, you know, hold shift and make a bunch of lines? Well, try to do that with your tablet. You end up getting this thin, weird looking line right here where it's just saying, no, man. What you do, your pressure sensitivity, 50%, your minimum diameter, where it'll actually start doing that. And you still got all this bad stuff you could do here, right? So, alright. So you're gonna use your last tool. Do all that, delete it. And you can actually bring this guy back because you already did what you needed to do. If you wanted to save that change, go here, and it creates a new brush. You name it the best ballpoint brush I'll ever use, right? Boom, there it is. That's what you're gonna do forever. It's so easy to make. You just do those changes. Again, shape dynamics there, smoothing, whatever, tip shape, that, no spacing, hardness, all the way, or you can play with this. You're gonna have it on 80%. Nothing's ever completely perfect, but except for this 80% perfect, because it's set to 80%. Okay. So you have your ship. I'm gonna get to the grid. Just a second. So we're gonna clear these guides by just going here. Or oh, D doesn't do it. U, D. So you had your sketch. Now you're going to draw that box that we had. So this is the overall shape of your ship. You're going to take your sketch. Nope. You're going to take your top view. You know what? Let's save these guys all the way down here because we also don't want them. Right? We like them. We're going to copy these guys, right? So this is your garbage layer. This is like what you want to hide that you don't want anybody to see, so you just kind of, boop, gone. And all this stuff that you're working on is just here, right? Copy shit. So you're gonna enable one view, and so this is your top view. You're gonna go back to the grids you just made, right? You're gonna press Control T, hold Alt and Shift, and you're going to resize it to about the same size of your ship, right? So here's why we had the center line. Change the color of this from black, red, bright red, and move these bad boys underneath because they're also kind of garbage, but we're going to copy them. Alright, so you're going to press Control on this. So you're going to select that. You're going to select that. Now, you're going to resize them, but I just realized something. Back with this guy, I remember I did the same thing, and my perspective was off because I realized this back was flat. I don't want it to be flat. I want it to be on an angle. So, you look at your perspective. So you had a line here. This eventually go to that line. This eventually go to that line too. So if you want to correct perspective, want a horizon line goes, or go on here and look up sideways rectangle. All right. Oh, not gonna find it. This might work. But In any case, we want to have a character, or we want to have character within our drawing. So doing this, what did they have? So, yeah, perspective drawing right here, 2 points, but too many grids. So we're creating our own. Okay, just. Well, actually no. This. Okay, I got an idea. I'm gonna take this. Okay, so we want this cube right here. Right? So these lines, if they were off the page, be more correct, like more, like they're never right at the side, they're actually off in the distance. So that's like a correct viewing of 3D. That's in our peripheral vision object you're working on. I digress. This here is the shape that I want. So now, I know I just grabbed a reference for friggin' cube. But you don't have to measure bullshit. Oops. Oh man. Alright, so there's your opacity. Here's your thing. I go here. No, I'm tracing over a goddamn rectangle. So holding shift, I'm just kind of going over this. Right? So this guy, oops, down there, coming up here, is going back. So, you can also hold shift, and let's say you did have these points, and you just wanted to, you know, you wanted your perfect little square right here, your little dog too. We could do, delete all these, like, create your line, oops, horizon line, go here, there's 1 point, so you start with the base line of your shape, click from here, there, down there, and from there, they're all holding shift, right? Now this thing's on an angle, it's looking curtain, so, right, if you want to get these angles and you're not getting them, go to view and snap, turn off snap, and also select this to none. Alright, so it's like vertically, these cubes are a little square. You're just going to think about the size of your ship, right? Now, there we go. I can't believe traced over a cube. You just take from your points and draw straight to whatever. Boom, boom, boom. Alright. Now for the good stuff. So you take the top that you want to start with, then you take your grid. Okay? Press Control click, press Control T. Oh man. Directly in the center. Grab those. So this is the top. So holding control, you're gonna select a corner and drag it to where you want. Like so. Okay. Now we're gonna copy these guys again. Or well, just the top, I guess. Then we're gonna actually resize all of these guys. Missed a step. So to retransform, take all these bad boys and resize them to this size. Or just resize them all at once. It's like, oh, Corey, stick to one thing. Here's your grid. Alright. Change the color from, like, green this time, so it's a little easier to identify. Alright, this one. Change this to blue. So, yeah, it's yellow. All the colors. rainbows that are different. Oops. You colorize. If you want to play around with these things, so this is your lightness, your saturations, how like, vibrant the color is. You. Right. Then the black you can just do for now. Garbage will do. Right. So I've already got the one in perspective. Oh, I did. Resize, holding Alt and Shift, by the way. Hold Control, or you can just drag the corners to the points. Doesn't really matter. You're just gonna match up lines. I don't get why it's snapping like that. Turn it all off. Alright. So, you're gonna see that your ship's a little distorted. Well, that's because of the shape of our rectangle. Yeah, we've got this, and the ship's more of a square. So we're gonna align our grid accordingly, holding Alt and drag it in like so. Right? Now you're gonna resize it. I know this is like a lot of preparing to do for what is actually relatively simple if you practice enough, but for now, this is what does in a pinch. So you've got the center, and I just noticed this is going to be really small. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to image size and increase the size by about 200%. Just so we're working on a, like, when we do our drawing, it'll look better, and we can just take this, put it onto our 10 or 11 by 8.5 thing. Okay. So there's your grid. Here's your other grid. You're gonna take this bad boy, your side. You're gonna rotate them, put them here in center, right? So if you want everything to be 100% perfect, line everything up, like all the edges, all that stuff, but just to save time. And right, resize your grid first. Oops. Control T, holding Alt, size it down. Oops. Add up. Alright. You're gonna take all the corners, like so, hold Control. Boom, I don't know why it's snapping like that. That. Backwards. You're gonna flip it. Yes, flip horizontal by right-clicking it. Now, Control T. This guy down. Guy. Right there. Alright. Now we have the center. Oh, we're gonna make it underneath. Know where the center is. Alright. Now you're gonna do the same again for these guys. To enable that, we flip the bitch. Go to our grid. We're gonna rotate, rotate the grid. So, put it in the center of our ship. I guess what we could have done is actually do all these all at once. But, you know, like I said, I just kind of do this on my own. Just really think about what other people think about while I do this. Alright, so make it manual. Eyes. Run that grid, rotate it. Control click, bring this corner to that corner. That corner to that corner. That corner to that corner. As you can see, the benefits of having a front, like a front of your ship, in the bottom. These silhouettes, they could just be used and managed and all that stuff. So, go to your next grid. It's gonna be your top, like actual, like top. And resize this side. Keep note. So, like I said, do all these, all these guys at the same time. I'm sorry if you guys are following along, doing it step by step. just horrible for this, but oops. Be in the center. And some of you could probably guess where I'm going with this, like this here. You're up in this corner. Okay. I don't like how it's zoom in to get a finer snap, quote unquote. Alright, so here's your top, right? There's the back, you have your fronts, and you could use a front again for. Alright, it's basically like what you're gonna do with 3D modeling. Anyways, you've got your planes, whatever. I guess what you could do is take a screenshot of just planes in a cube, but anyways, if you managed it so far, you don't really need to rely on that. Alright, so your top was with something here. I don't know what. There we go. Alright, so this guy was with your yellow, so your grid at the top. We're going to change our background to something a little darker. Alright, so your top one is going to be your most transparent since you're looking through it all the time. So you just kind of change both of these. Like you could kind of group them to go top, you know. And you find this. That's your major grid. You can get rid of this now or set this opacity down really far, like that. Your bottom grid, which is right there. Control bottom. Bring this guy up. I didn't merge him, did I? There. Alright. Oh, sorry. Got a bit of a head rush here. This is your left side. So you're gonna name this left. This grid. Left. You're gonna that. Make it left. Alright. This grid is your right. Right. Alright. Let's go. Now this can be a little bit easier to manage, as you can see. These grids, I'm gonna get rid of all this shit because I already showed you guys. But keep yours, definitely. Just if you need to fix something, you can go in and do it. But I've already done a lot of this stuff. The bottom, transparent, much less left. Since you're looking through it, it'll be much less than your right. If you can't see it, it'll be a little bit easier to see. Alright, so you go. Okay, let's build your thing. Perspective sketch. No. Sketch. Alright. Now this is where it gets fun. You're gonna want a bright, like red color, so you know what you're working with. So you just select the points, and then shift click where the points are here on your grid, right? So there. You know how I said delete those folders? Yeah, well, don't. Well, I mean, I didn't delete the photo. Folders, so I've got this stuff here. So these guys, since you set up your planes, all that stuff, right, you're gonna connect the points. Since I've already done this, for the sake of you guys understanding and knowing where to go from where I was just at, you're gonna connect all these points so that, you know. Also, lining up these lines is kind of critical. Not necessary, but critical. So totally necessary. Alright. You need to take this, put that there. This guy, bring. What are you doing? What's happening? Cannot required isn't supported? Huh? Never had that happen before. It knows. It's like, trying to what? Okay, let me and ruin it. Alright. You got your grids. Set up your grids. Your transparency, that shit, so you know where your points are. I know they're a little crooked, but yeah. Alright, so back to your sketch. Red line, start from the center, click to the center of the other part. Oh, am I using that? Picker, start from the center, go to the center. Actually, go like this. Fine. Now it looks off. Why does it look off? Maybe because it is off. Anyways, find the perfect center that you can. That looks center. Then you're gonna erase these bad boys out. So it's kind of like a laser grid that you're drawing. Okay, I know it's looking super complicated, so we can start disabling or, you know, making this lighter so it's not so harsh. Then sketch. You could set this down, tone that down a bit. Here. Now we go to the top portion of your silhouette here. Right? You're gonna drag this out. Top line up there. And with the bottom, you're just gonna connect them. And the very tail end of it, the very nose of it. Right? So this is your drawing. So those are the left lines that are going. And I kind of stealing this idea from 3ds Max. So hopefully they don't mind me borrowing this idea. So here's your this. We're gonna call it waypoints because that's what they are. We're like lining everything up. Then so we can go waypoints X. Waypoints X. Waypoints Y. Z. Alright. So you've got this corner of the wing. You bring it up to that corner of the wing. That corner, etc. If you have everything lined up, it's not going to look as skewed as mine. I apologize, mine looks so skewed. Right. Said, oh god, that was really bad. Oh, because I'm trying to connect. There. Now we've got the major corners of the ship. Take these guys, connect them. That guy, connect that. Guy there. Guy there. So now, what is the point? Kind of guidelines here to sketch out. So you go like, you know, you've got this, and you can actually start. If you follow the same direction, or can do, which also pretty simple. Take this, copy it, bring it down here, make so we could see it easier. Bring it on top of these boys. There we go. Now this grid's going to be a little different because we're going to connect it to the corners, make sure it lines up with this one of these lines here. And stretch it out a bit. This perspective is going to be a bit different. From that line to that line. So you're going to line it up with the center point here, right? So this is, we're going to name this the center grid. Right? Oh, bottom. You no longer need this anymore. Top. If you draw this outline, this is the outline of your ship, right? And you've got all these supporting angles so that you can see what you're looking at. And this, and that. And since I've drawn this from the silhouette, you're going to want to do this with your line art or whatever, but I mean, silhouette works too, because then you could build off of the shape, right? So there's your top, right? I guess, like, horizontal plane. Then we're going to take our left or right or a new new document so that it's like a fresh page, right? Not so conflicting with what you're doing. We're gonna copy the right, put this in the grid, drag it in copy. So drag this guy so that that corner, so it's like hard to see, barely even existing there. And we're just gonna line it up with ours. Don't worry about it being distorted because I need the top enabled. Oops. Yeah, that's right. It's gonna go there, that guy's there. Looking good so far. So you've got our center, our top here. Alright, it's looking a little mush. So what we can do now, take off all of our waypoints and our grids. You know, everyone's like, well, what was the point of drawing the grids? Well, point of reference. You can actually tone them down a lot more. Now you can focus on the green and draw, like, seriously trace the outline of your ship here, okay? Trace the outline of it. Obviously you're going to want to go in more in-depth. Ship, not be so crude about this. All these portions will be basically correct, and you can just kind of add on top of it. Just like that, right? Then you've got this line. You just kind of develop an idea for what your ship can look like. If you take your time, notice line center would come up. This, you just flesh out new concepts, right? Because the shapes that you made aren't going to be all that defined. So now, sketch grid, center, waypoint, all this stuff, see how that lines up with that line. Well, yes, it doesn't line up with that. But it's close, so sorry this is looking like Christmas, but yeah, so there's a ship, right? And so let's say you didn't want it facing this way, right? What you do is you flip all these bad boys, but you don't flip them, you gotta remake them. So I guess building them in 3ds Max and just screenshotting them from that angle would be the best course of action, but if you felt this was quick, dirty, and you want to do it this way, this is an option. I mean, like,